Hey everyone, welcome back to Drama Llamas of Reddit, and a special welcome to anyone who's new here. Today we've got a mix of wild stories and a whole cast of characters. From It's a Family Emergency, parents who somehow had time to pack swim trunks, all the way to the boundary-setting babysitters who went full petty professional with receipts, invoices, and a group chat mic drop, with plenty of drama in between. I won't keep you waiting. Get comfy, grab a drink or a snack. If you're eating, enjoy your meal. And if you're driving, keep your eyes on the road. Let's get into it. So, I'm 27 years old, and my parents have this special talent where they can turn any sentence into an obligation. If you've ever heard, "We just need a tiny favor," you already know it's never tiny. It's like when a restaurant says shareable portion, and they bring out a serving bowl the size of a kiddie pool. Anyway, I live about 20 minutes from my childhood home, which apparently translates to, "Congratulations, you're our free on-call nanny." My siblings are 8 and 10, and they're sweet kids. But my parents treat babysitting the way some people treat Wi-Fi. They only notice it exists when it stops working. One Thursday night, I get a call from my mom, voice all syrupy. She goes, "Honey, can you come over tomorrow morning? Your dad and I have a situation." Now, I'm thinking car trouble, hospital, maybe a work emergency. I ask what's going on, and she hits me with, "We'll explain when you get here. It's just easier." That's how you know you're about to be tricked. But I'm still a good daughter with a weakness for guilt, so I say yes. I show up at 8 a.m. on Friday. My parents' suitcases are in the hallway like they're moving out. My dad is wearing a Hawaiian shirt like he's trying to manifest a midlife crisis. My mom hands me a sticky note with the kids' schedule, and it's basically a corporate calendar. Breakfast, camp, lunch, screen time, dinner, bedtime, no sugar after 6. Timmy has soccer, Ava has allergy meds, and my personal favorite, don't let them get bored. Like I'm the cruise director now. I go, "What is this? Where are you going?" My mom smiles like she's about to reveal a surprise party. "We're leaving for a little trip, just a few days. You'll be fine." My dad adds, "We really need this. We've been so stressed." And then my mom says the line that made my soul leave my body. "Also, we told the kids you were excited." I'm sorry, what? You told 2 children I was excited to be their full-time caretaker while you disappeared into the sun like a pair of retired pelicans? I'm standing there with my mouth open, and my mom does this casual little shrug and goes, "We already checked you don't have work today." I'm like, "You checked?" She says, "Well, we asked your aunt." My aunt, the family gossip hotline. I'm pretty sure if I buy a new shampoo, my aunt can smell it. I tell them, "No. I said I'd come over to help with a situation. This is you going on vacation." My dad goes, "Don't call it that. It's a reset." "Sir, if you're flying to Cancun, it's a vacation. If you're flying to a monastery to reflect on your sins, that's a reset. Be serious." My mom's face tightens. "So you're really going to do this to us, after everything we've done for you?" And there it is. The classic. The moment the guilt cannon comes out, and they load it with emotional shrapnel. I look at the kids, who are now bouncing around, because they heard excited and trip, and their brains are connecting dots like, "Ooh, fun." I take a breath and say, I will stay today, because the kids are not the ones who lied. But I'm not doing this for free, and I'm not doing this again. My mom laughs. Actually laughs. "Oh my God, don't be dramatic. We're your parents." And my dad goes, "It's family. You don't charge family." That's when my petty side sat up like a meerkat. I go, "Perfect. Then you won't mind me treating it like a family business. I'll send you the invoice." They both freeze. My mom goes, "An invoice?" I smile and say, "Yep. You can pay me in love, but my landlord only accepts money." They try to argue, but I'm already walking the kids into the kitchen like, "All right, who wants pancakes?" Because again, I'm not punishing the kids for their parents' nonsense. My parents finally leave with this dramatic energy like they're soldiers going to war. My mom says, "I can't believe you're being like this." And my dad says, "We'll talk when we get back." Like I'm the teenager who missed curfew. The second their car pulls out, I open my laptop and do what any responsible adult does when wronged. I create a spreadsheet. I calculate local babysitting rates. I add an emergency booking fee, because apparently I was booked like a last-minute flight. I include meals, gas, lost work hours, and a deception surcharge. I named it the lying tax. If you're going to play me, at least fund my retirement. Over the weekend, I take the kids to soccer. We do movies. I make them vacation cereal, which is just regular cereal but in a fancy bowl, and they're thrilled because kids are easy to impress. Meanwhile, my parents keep texting me pictures of palm trees like they're rubbing it in. My mom sends, "So beautiful here," and my dad sends a selfie with a drink, and the caption, "Much needed." Oh, it's needed? Interesting, because what I needed was consent. Sunday night, my mom finally asks, "How are the kids?" I send, "Great." Also, I emailed you the invoice. 3 dots appear immediately. Then, "This is ridiculous." Then, "We are not paying you." Then, "You're being selfish." I reply, "Cool. Then next time you can hire someone who's selfish professionally." They get home Monday, and my mom marches in like she's about to fire me from my own life. She goes, "So you really expect us to pay that?" I calmly say, "Yes, and if you don't, then I'm no longer available for babysitting, at all, ever. Consider this the price of your last-minute reset." My dad says, "You'd really punish the kids because you're mad at us?" And I go, "No, I'm setting boundaries because you're mad you can't use me." Then I pull out my phone and show them the message where my mom literally wrote, "We told the kids you were excited." I say, "You used my name as a tool. You don't get to cry when the tool breaks." Here comes the best part. My aunt, the one that used to check my schedule, decided to chime in on the family group chat. She writes, "I heard you're charging your parents to babysit. That's so ugly." So I respond in the group chat with a screenshot of the invoice, then a screenshot of my mom's "We told the kids you were excited" text, and then, because I'm an artist, I add, "If anyone needs childcare, my rates are posted above. Emergency bookings come with a lying tax." My grandma reacts with a little laughing emoji. Twice. My cousin writes, "LMAO." My uncle writes, "Fair." My mom calls me immediately, furious, and I answer with, "Hello, this call is being billed at my consultation rate." They paid. Not happily, but they paid. And suddenly, it's amazing, I became so busy and hard to schedule for the next few months. Weird how that happens when you stop being free. And look, I'm not saying spreadsheets solve family problems. I'm just saying, nothing has ever made me feel more powerful than watching my dad Venmo me with the note "babysitting," like he was being personally attacked by capitalism. Anyway, if you thought that was wild, the next story has an aunt who treated childcare like a subscription service she forgot to cancel, until OP hit her with the ultimate feature upgrade. Consequences. Okay, story 2. This is from a 30-year-old man who described himself as the oldest sibling and therefore the designated sacrifice. He said his sister had 2 kids under 5, and she and her husband had that special brand of confidence where they assumed everyone else would rearrange their life to support their chaos. The kids were adorable, but the parents had the energy of people who say, "We're running late," while standing still. He said it started with small stuff. "Can you watch them for an hour while we grocery shop?" That hour always turned into 3. Then it became, "Can you watch them while we go to dinner?" That dinner turned into a whole date night. And every time he brought it up, his sister hit him with, "You're single, you have time." Like being single is a coupon for free labor. Then came the big one. His sister calls on a Wednesday and says, "Hey, don't freak out. We're going on a little vacation." He's like, "Okay, have fun." And she goes, "No, like, we leave tomorrow, and you're watching the kids." He says, "That's not a question." She goes, "We already told them they're having a sleepover with Uncle Mike. They're excited." Apparently, lying to children is a family tradition. He says, "No, I have work." His sister goes, "Call out." He's like, I'm not calling out of my job because you want to drink margaritas in another time zone. Her husband jumps in and goes, it's only 4 days. Only 4 days? 4 days is enough time for a toddler to destroy a living room, learn a new swear word, and become emotionally bonded to a Roomba. He refuses. They panic. Then they try a new tactic. Drop-off ambush. Thursday morning at 6:30 a.m., his doorbell rings like it's the apocalypse. He opens the door and there's his sister, her husband, 2 sleepy kids, 2 backpacks, and a car already running in the driveway. His sister goes, "We're late. Love you. Bye," and tries to hand him a diaper bag like she's passing a football. He steps back and says, "Nope." She freezes. "What do you mean, nope?" He goes, "I mean I am not taking them. You did not ask, you did not plan. You are not leaving your kids on my porch like an Amazon delivery." Her husband gets mad and goes, "Are you seriously going to make us miss our flight?" And Mike goes, "Yes, I'm going to make you be parents." His sister's eyes go wide, and she says, "So what? You're just going to call the cops?" Mike says, "If you abandon them here and drive away, yes, because that's literally abandonment. Don't test me." Suddenly, the "we're late" urgency disappears. Funny how time slows down when the consequences show up. They start arguing in the driveway, whisper yelling like, "He can't do this," and "We'll look insane." And Mike is just standing there holding the door like a bouncer at a club called Responsibility. Finally, his sister hisses, "Fine, we'll take them with us." Like that was some unbearable punishment. Like, imagine going on a family trip as a family. She grabs the diaper bag and storms off. The kids, half asleep, just wave at Mike like, "Bye, Uncle Mike." They didn't even care. Kids are flexible. Adults are the ones who act like a boundary is a personal attack, so you'd think that's the end, right? Nope. Because 2 weeks later, sister calls again, suddenly sweet. "Hey, we were thinking, maybe we could use your help sometimes, but like, scheduled." Mike says, "Sure, scheduled, paid, contract." He wrote up an actual babysitting agreement. I'm talking hourly rate, cancellation policy, late fees, and a clause that said, if you tell the children Uncle Mike said yes before asking Uncle Mike, the rate doubles. He printed it. He put it in a folder. He had them sign it like they were leasing a car. His sister laughed until she realized he was serious. She goes, "This is insane." Mike goes, "No, what's insane is thinking my life is your backup plan." Her husband tries, "But we're family." Mike points at the contract and goes, "Exactly. That's why I made it simple. Family shouldn't be confusing." They didn't sign. They tried to call his bluff. And here's where the revenge part comes in, because Mike didn't just say no and move on. He stopped answering last-minute calls entirely. Like, not even a sorry can't. Just silence. They'd text, "Emergency!" And he'd reply, "If it's a real emergency, call 911. They'd text, "We need you," and he'd reply, "I'm not a service dog." Then, the cherry on top. His sister tried to smear him at a family BBQ, telling everyone he hates the kids and threatened to call the cops. Mike waited until everyone was listening and calmly said, "I love the kids. I hate being lied to. And yes, I will call the cops if someone tries to abandon children on my porch. Also, I brought copies of the babysitting contract for anyone who wants to borrow me like a lawnmower." The table went silent. Then his grandpa laughed so hard he started coughing. His mom, the classic peacekeeper, goes, "Well, he's not wrong." His sister turned the color of a stop sign. A month later, she signed the contract. Because turns out, paying for childcare is cheaper than losing free childcare forever. And Mike said the best part wasn't the money. It was hearing his sister ask like a normal person, "Hey, are you available Saturday from 2 to 6? Like a civilized adult. Growth. And Mike ended his post with, "I didn't become a villain. I became unavailable. The villain was the version of me that said yes to everything." Which honestly, that's poetry with a Venmo request. All right. For the third and final story, buckle up, because this one features parents who went on vacation and tried to keep it secret from the person watching their kids. Spoiler, you can't hide a tan line from karma. So this is the last story for today from a 26-year-old girl. And she said her parents had two younger kids, 6 and 9. She was the responsible one, which in family terms means the one we'll exploit because she won't let the house burn down. She'd babysit sometimes, fairly normal. But then her parents started getting bold. They'd call her just in case and keep her on standby like she was a human spare tire. One week her mom says, "We might have to travel for a couple days for a family thing. Can you be available?" OP says, "Maybe. What days?" Mom goes, "We're still figuring it out." Translation: "We're going to decide without you and then act shocked when you have plans." 2 days later, OP gets a text at 7 a.m. "We're on the way to the airport. The kids are ready. You can just meet us at the house. Love you." No question, no discussion, just a casual announcement like they were texting her that the trash goes out on Tuesdays. OP says she immediately calls her mom. No answer. Calls her dad. No answer. Calls again. Straight to voicemail. She drives over anyway because, again, kids. She gets there and finds a note on the counter that literally says, "Back Sunday. Kids have school stuff in their bags. Don't forget lunches. XOXO. XOXO. Like she's reading a postcard. Like, "Wish you were here. Please pack Capri Suns." She checks the fridge, and it's empty except for mustard and one sad lemon. She checks the pantry, and it's all ingredients, no actual food. Like they stocked the house for a cooking show called Good Luck, Idiot. Then she sees the real insult. The Wi-Fi password is changed. The sticky note says, "New Wi-Fi password. Ask Dad." Ask Dad? The dad who is currently ghosting her from 30,000 feet. The kids are like, "Where are Mom and Dad?" OP says they went on a trip. The 9-year-old goes, "Again?" The 6-year-old goes, "Are you sleeping here?" OP says, "Yep." And the 6-year-old cheers like she just announced Disneyland because kids love whoever is present and has snacks. OP's revenge wasn't loud at first. It was surgical. She did 3 things. First, she texted the family group chat, grandparents, aunts, uncles, everyone. "Hey, just letting everyone know Mom and Dad left for a vacation this morning and didn't confirm childcare with me. I'm with the kids so they're safe, but if anyone needs to reach them, I can't. They changed the Wi-Fi password and aren't answering calls." Then she added a smiley face. The smiley face is important. It says, "I'm calm," while the message says, "I'm about to turn your reputation into confetti." Second, she took the kids to Target. Because if you're going to get ambushed into parenting, you might as well do it in the natural habitat of American revenge, fluorescent lighting, and impulse purchases. She bought snacks, lunch supplies, and, this is key, she bought the kids 2 cheap little souvenir t-shirts that said, "Best vacation ever." Then she took a picture of them wearing the shirts and texted it to her parents with, "Kids are having a great time, still waiting on that Wi-Fi password so I can do their homework portal stuff." No response. Third, she found her parents' travel folder, because of course they had one, and inside was the printed itinerary. Not a family thing, a resort, a full resort, with the words "adults only" on the header like a slap. OP said she just stared at it for a minute and laughed in that way where you're not okay, but you're about to be extremely productive. She called her grandma and said, "Just so you know, they're at an adults-only resort. They left the kids." Grandma went quiet, then said, "Oh, they have lost their minds." Now the parents finally call back, Sunday afternoon, not because they felt guilty, because they got caught. OP answers and her mom immediately goes, "Why did you tell everyone?" OP goes, "Why did you leave your kids without asking?" Mom says, "We knew you'd do it." OP says, "That's not the compliment you think it is." Her dad tries the old tactic. "We needed a break." OP says, "Then schedule childcare like everyone else on Earth." Mom says, "We were going to pay you." OP says, "You didn't say that. You didn't even leave groceries. You left a lemon and a dream." They get home and expect OP to just hand the kids off and leave quietly. But OP had prepared a folder, a real folder, like she was about to present a case to a jury. Inside, receipts for groceries, school supplies, Target run, gas, plus a printed screenshot of the adults-only resort itinerary. She titled the document, "The Vacation You Lied About." Petty? Yes. Organized? Also yes. That's the kind of petty that gets promoted. She sits them down and goes, "Here's what's happening. You will reimburse me for everything I spent. You will pay me for childcare at market rate, and you will never, ever do this again. If you try, I will immediately call Grandma, and Grandma will spawn in your living room like a boss fight." Her mom scoffs. "You're being dramatic." OP says, "I'm being clear." Her dad says, "You can't threaten us with Grandma." OP says, "You can't threaten me with surprise parenting, yet here we are." They try to argue, but then Grandma actually calls. Perfect timing. Grandma puts them on speaker and says, "I saw the pictures, nice resort. Next time, take your kids. Or take a parenting class." Grandma pauses and adds, "And pay your daughter. I didn't raise freeloaders." Then she hangs up. Absolute icon behavior. And because OP is a legend, she also changed the Wi-Fi password before she left. She set it to, "Ask Me First 2025. She wrote it on a sticky note and put it on the fridge right next to the sad lemon. That's not sabotage. That's art. Her parents paid. They were mad, but they paid. And OP said the funniest part was watching them try to act like victims while everyone in the family suddenly started asking, "So who's watching the kids?" Every time her parents mentioned a little trip. The ambush babysitting era ended because sunlight hit it. Turns out lies don't do well in daylight, especially when your own mother is the sun. And that's where I'll leave it for today, because if we keep going, I'm going to start drafting contracts for everyone in my life, including my toaster. Thank you for hanging out with us on Drama Llamas of Reddit. If you've got your own wild family story, especially the kind where someone tried to treat you like the free nanny, send it to our email, and who knows, maybe your story will be in the next episode. Stay safe, stay petty, and as always, don't let anybody tell the kids you're excited unless you actually are.